All right, time for the Yaskier cleaning service to strike again. Sure. People don't usually like it when their cleaning services are referred to as striking. Is this a scary dungeon hallway that triggers a trap? Feels like a scary dungeon hallway that triggers a trap. I don't know, nothing's happening. Maybe we're just fine. Wow. 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 That monster instantly died. One thing I do like about this, even though I won't always be able to capitalize on it. No, it's probably somewhat intuitive, I guess. It's just the neat little thing that, according to the monster manual thing, every enemy just has a fixed level. So if you find an ooze, it's that level, and a greater ooze is that level, just like in D&D, basically. Which means that if you see an enemy, you have an idea, based on past experiences, basically, how good it probably is, and what your chances are of succeeding. They're like, oh god, now there's 3 of them instead of 2 of them. How did it go when there was 2 of them? And stuff like that. And you can kind of do those calculations, as opposed to other games where it's like, I don't know, this one's arbitrarily level 80, fuck you. You're dead. You're so dead. In a lot of games, stuff's just whatever level it feels like, and also level maybe doesn't matter in general. But in this game, a young Drake is always level 6 or whatever, and you can react accordingly. What are those sounds? Fucking creepy. Is that what a sporling sounds like? I guess it is. Oh boy. All right. Hey, Ed there, if you could get to that guy, that'd be nice. And yeah, you already find that one. We just need to generally try to interrupt the pathing on these guys if we can. There's a lot of them. That's a lot of enemies. Okay. Let's have all of our ranged people focus on their leader. Pallegina is confused, which could be bad for us. Oh, she got knocked prone. That's very useful. That means that the bad follow-up just doesn't happen. Oh, I just aggroed another troll that wasn't in the fight yet. That's probably fine. Let's just stop the trolls in their tracks if I can. There we go. Did you say immune? Oh, this. You can't paralyze the sporling. It's a good thing I focus on the trolls then. That's good. Near death. That's what I like to hear. There we go. All of you focus this one down now. There we go. Focus every ad down one at a time until we're just down to... Yep. And now it's nothing but trolls. Get them! Quick, before they start moving again. And we're 4 deep again. What? Are you okay, troll? Oh my god, he's slimering. What the fuck? Well, he's paralyzed. I wish I'd got both of them, but I guess not. Hey, everybody. Deal with that one, please. Except maybe Ituma can finish this guy off, probably. Ituma and Sagani. There we go. Alright, that was fucking weird. That was just very, very strange. He is currently prone. That's good. Hey, ranged people, you wanna back up? Back up. That's Pallegina. That's Durance. There you go. There you go. And he's dead. Ooh. Not much of a thing, but there we go. Having auto pause happen at the beginning of fights is going to make me more likely to just go fast forward through dungeon exploration a little bit. The primary downside being traps. But otherwise, it's just, you know,
Let's go.
relatively by the numbers. It's when the true boss fights start that things get scarier.
Sure.
But in these more minor fights, I can get away with just having people use their per encounter abilities automatically. And in some of these cases, we're outnumbering them 1 to 7, which really makes me a winner in those cases. And then we get back to the story faster. That looks like some secret.
Slow and silent.
No? Not this time? I definitely thought that was going to be a secret.
Slow and silent.
What are you hiding in there?
Simple test. That's settled.
And skeletons. With the clickety-clackities. Let's get in there. Yeah. Yeah, all the melee people made it through the doorway. That means we're good to go. You get the wizard, and you get the ranger. And you guys all focus the wizard, because the wizards are bad. Actually, I guess Itumak should fight the wizard, because that'll give Sagani a bonus. Ah, I've been interrupted in progress. Oh, no, they're all dying. This is not much of a problem. There we go.
Right.
I was gonna say, is that the Saint's war armor? Oh my god. A duplicate of my tank's special starting item. Hello. You forgot to be in the other fight. How embarrassing. Okay, it seems you guys can't get line of sight. Let's try this again. There you go. Hey, Aeon. Where are you hiding, buddy? Don't worry, we're all friends here. Nothing bad's going to happen, Aeon. Come out, buddy.
I'll see what I can find.
Is that Aeon? Yeah, it is. The small Orlan man appears to have pulled together some crates and scraps of cloth to make a rather sorry-looking little camp. The thick fur on his limbs is matted, and his clothing smeared with blackening grime. He looks startled as you enter, his eyes widening in alarm. Yeah, seems you made a camp in a place that has one exit and one entrance. Whoops.
Welcome.
Oh, it's you. I've heard of you, I think. At least, the description matches. The Orlan coughs. Sorry, I wasn't expecting to see anyone else down here. I hear you've been turning up just about everywhere, of course. He grins weakly. What are you doing down here? Aeon grimaces. I've been a little down on my luck lately. Didn't have anywhere to stay, so I thought I'd come down here. Nobody pokes around in the catacombs much, not until you anyway. What can you tell me about these catacombs? Haven't explored much of it, to be honest. Got lucky finding this little corner of it. Let me think. Well, the canal there, that's Grogan's canal. Grogan was the dwarf that planned the whole thing. It runs up to Ondra's gift, spills out into the sea there. Otherwise, it's just a lot of bones. There's the Warrens, for people that couldn't afford better, but it's all flooded now. The fancier folk, they have their own resting places down here. Drier places. The Dukes of the Deerwood are down here, actually, if you want to pay your respects. The Crucible Knights have put a heavy price on your head. Aeron's mouth falls open and his eyes widen. After a few moments, he turns away, his brows furrowed. I thought they'd want to keep things quiet, at least. I didn't think they would. Aeon sighs heavily. Very well, it's true. I've been hiding from the knights down here, but it isn't what you think. He ducks his head. It was an accident. It's been hard for me here in Defiance Bay. I suppose I thought if I got involved in city business, if I made the right friends, it would get easier in time. And it did, really. I made a name for myself. A place. People actually listen to me when I talk. Well, they used to. People can be very passionate about these things. We were discussing, I think it was shipping agreements, of all the things to fight over. But this one night, this man, he got very angry. I think maybe he had a little too much at the inn. Aeon pauses, and I guess he didn't like an Orlan talking back to him. I struck him. He came towards me, and I hit him. And he went over like a tree. I guess he struck his head on the way down. Aeon lowers his gaze and shrugs helplessly. Turns out he was a knight. The Crucible Knights won't care how it happened. They just want me gone. They won't let me live long enough to see the rope. Please. He looks at you with a pleading expression. I just want to get out of this city. The second I can get money for passage, I won't trouble anyone again. I swear it. I'll live quietly, but you can't... Please. You can't tell them I'm here. So you can murder him, you can take him prisoner at the jail that we have. I can give him 300 CP and be like, run for it. Or I can just ignore him and just not tell anyone that he's here. Or I can take him to the Duke. Wait, you'll face the Duke's justice, I think means you can take him to the Duke instead of to the Crucible Knights. So there might be 6 options here. A lot of different options. Holy shit. It's a really muddied thing. Yeah. They very much put the price on his head, and they don't seem to know the right answer. They don't seem to be aware of what happened. The knights don't know what really happened. They think he just decided to murder a knight, whereas it was a brawl where he felt threatened and he struck apparently once, and then the knight had a bad fall. But the water gets more muddied by the fact that he struck first, apparently, because he felt threatened. Which means that he technically was the first one to actually attack. It's hard to say based on his account whether or not it would have been escalated or not. He could also be lying about everything, because that's already happened before with the bear. Giving him 300 CP to get out is really easy. I do like the detail of having the option to just take him prisoner in my own place instead. But I have no idea how that process works, or whether or not I can deal with him in the future, or talk with him again, or if there's additional dialogue that happens where we can further investigate this, like while he's a prisoner, or does he just spend the rest of the game as a prisoner at my camp until he escapes, like the other one did? Or like, do I have, like, how does my, I don't know how, it's weird because it's my jail, but I don't know how my own jail works. Like, do people serve sentences and then get released? Or do they just sit there for the rest of the for the rest of this game, and then disappear between Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, probably. And I'm just curious. Once you've restored the dungeons, you get the option to take certain characters prisoner during your travels. Usually, the way it works is that you have to fight them, and then, when their health is almost at zero, they initiate dialogue asking for mercy, and you'll have the option to either finish them or take them prisoner. Note that if you take someone prisoner, they're immediately teleported to Kadnua's dungeons, leaving behind all the loot they would normally drop. Update. Killing prisoners after they are locked in dungeons will allow you to collect their gear. Jesus. Two types of random events can take place at a stronghold each turn, affecting prisoners. Escape attempts. A prisoner may try to escape. Your stronghold's security rating determines how likely the escape attempt is to succeed. A prisoner who successfully escapes is gone forever, which would happen the first time. Visitor requests. A visitor may appear who asks you to release one or all of the prisoners to them, usually in return for money. Okay. Patch 3.03 introduced more options with prisoners, such as selling them to various people who happen along. The average price is typically blah blah blah. Huh. Didn't say anything about releasing them. Unless I skipped over that, because I was scanning through it. Well. I don't know. This one's really fucking messy and torn, because he did kill somebody. And engage in violence. Which is funny coming from me, isn't it? But it's like the kind of thing where, like, he definitely didn't try to kill somebody. It was a shock and a surprise and an accident. Involuntary manslaughter. I don't know, assuming that I'm not just being bold-faced lied to. He's not a murderer. Here, this should be enough to buy you passage out of Defiance Bay. Aeon stares at you with disbelief. But this is... His face twists as he struggles for words. They said you were a kind soul, but I wouldn't have imagined. This will see me out of the city, and well away. I'm not sure I could ever thank you enough, but here, take this. I hope it's some use to you on your journey. You have my lasting gratitude, friend. I should get ready. We'll see. The smoldering fire is strewn with the meager remains of a recent meal. Fish bones. A molded rind of cheese. And blackened bread crust. A wobbly little tent is barely standing. The queen that was and still is. I think I have that and have already read it, but I'm not. We'll see. That one definitely seems familiar to me. A curse of cold clay added. The quest expires in 1 day. Oh. Better hurry. Remembrance of life's warmth is one hell of a... That is one hell of a fucking reward. Yeah, this gives you 25% experience, 500 to 1,000 copper and treasure, and remembrance of life's warmth. Pretty strong reward, all things considered. Curse of cold clay. Let's send the grieving mother? Let's give her the remembrance of life's warmth. I don't know. We shall see. Remember when I added Elth back to the party for a quest that didn't even happen, and now he's just in my party still?
Light, flame, and sound.
It happens.
Keep to ourselves.
I do like his summon an additional dude attack. That's a neat one. Destroy the oozes. Destroy them all. They really don't stand a chance. At this point, they're rather outclassed. Anything up here, or just the connective tissue? Yep. Just the central connection. Alright. We'll try north of the moat now. The main reason I came here has expired, but... has passed, but there could be all sorts of things here. Or just a lot of Kickstarter backers. As it goes. I like the part where Durance gets hit by monsters and things. And traps. Nature's embrace. It's rather cathartic to send Durance in to get attacked by just various traps. Hello, worm companion. Huh. Combat ended. I guess we just lost him.
Poison.
Oh, you'll be fine. There it goes. Who else we got down here? Is it just one lesser ooze patrolling back and forth over and over again? Alone? It seems like it. I don't know, there's a lot of black empty space on the map. I'm thinking something down here wraps around up here. Otherwise it's a lot of empty space.
Hey.
That looks a little strange. Oh, how did I just pick you? Whoops. And that time I outpicked not you. And now my spellcatcher's in the front. I really did a good job with this formation. Yay, it's stunned, so we're fine. And now it's dead. What was that? What effect was that? Everyone was like, gotta go fast! Was that something inspectable that I saw? Did I imagine that? Nope. Giant open bars you could definitely fit through, but I guess that's not coming up right now. Not the way you might think. We can go deeper. Oh, we're gonna be here for a while then. Alright. Keep that in mind for later. Oh! Let's have everyone enter stealth mode real quick.
Slowly now.
This looks like a big situation in here. What the? Ah! One of those creepy places. Alright, that's unnerving. Everybody get him. Oh yeah. I already took out the whole zombie district. You're gonna have to ramp things up a bit to be a threat. Oh god. Here they come, being a threat. You two fight that one. Haha! It's my anti-skeleton button. There we go.
Sure.
The catacombs. That's just a... that's not good. Like, that's just unnerving. Giant vase of skulls. Okay, actually, you know, everyone back up.
Feels like I ate bad steel meat.
Gonna have to take a break from fast mode.
What?
And our mechanics guy's gonna have to come. Look at him go, it's Durance. Don't step on a trap, Durance. Oh no.
Now this I haven't seen before.
Well, that one's not going away. Okay.
Yes?
You can trust me.
I don't know if I think that. I don't know if I believe you when you say that. I can trust you. Durance, pretty iffy. I'm gonna see if this is an alternate way in, where I maybe can disable the traps, because then the whole party can come running in.
Now this I haven't seen before.
Ah. Another studier of animancy.
Yeah.
Alright, well, yeah, that's why they had traps set up. They're trying to animance, which is why there's so many skulls or so many skeletons around here.
Keeping an eye out.
Sure.
Animancer's gonna animance. A lone figure in tattered robes shuffles across the chamber, muttering under his breath. As you approach, the figure halts and swivels its head towards you. Its haggard visage is a labyrinth of wrinkles and sores overgrown by moss-like beard. What's this? Who disturbs Helix's work? He's talking to about himself in third person. Its voice rattles and gurgles like that of a drowning man. What are you doing down here? Research, a hodgepodge of animancy and necromancy. I have peace and quiet as well as an abundant supply of subjects. There's nothing else. Be on your way. What are those creatures behind you? Just a few personal projects. Sorry souls stuck in their mortal shells. Their flesh is as dead as mine, though their minds are not as well maintained. They flock to me like worms to drakes. They're not half as intelligent, but... He watches as one stumbles into a desk. They serve for amusement. They flock like worms to drakes. They keep saying that about drakes and everybody, and like, don't they all... I thought all those creatures were heavy on competition, so like, in particular, drakes are all independent and separate from each other, except I keep seeing them in swarms. I was just exploring the catacombs. The figure aims a gnarled finger at the door. Then go and thank your gods I'm not hungry. Farewell. Yeah, it's the hungry thing that's going to be a problem, because you're planning on eating people. That's how you maintain, so it's kind of a no-go, honestly. A grim assortment of rusty blades adorns this table. Dust and cobwebs have been swept aside for various alchemical implementations. Though coated with rust and grit, they look recently used. This silver locket is dented and tarnished. A faded portrait of a young nobleman still rests inside. His face has been worn away by time. How long has he been here? thinking about it. It always feels weird to attack first. Blep, blep, blep. It does always feel weird to attack first, but at the same time, I've been told that these ghoul-type people have to eat living flesh, which seems to always involve eating people. He even threatened me with that idea. And the other person I found was keeping humans as cattle to eat in the future. So they're basically... They basically have the vampire problem. So based on that, it feels like a problem to leave him just sitting around. It's one thing to study animancy, it's another thing to actually have the creatures already exist as ghouls and so on. Even though that would significantly reduce research and so on if you can't have that option in the process, but it's a really fucked up option, so I'm gonna side with the third oh, Temple of Woedica. Interesting. Well, that is where I'm going next. Why not? Gaffol the drunkard, a local inebriate, has wandered onto the stronghold grounds. He is asking for help with his accumulated debts. Well, bad visitor, leaving in 4 days. Wow. I guess we'll see about that at some point. I'm gonna go with my different option on the kill to spare ratio, which is wait for context. I don't really expect any good context for that guy. I just think that maybe there's a quest that leads me to him that I haven't found yet, and I maybe should wait for that to happen. He's a character and all that. I had a similar confusion with another Animancer because I thought that the lady that was eating people, that letting them free was the quest, and then like something, she'd interact or something would happen, but then just nothing happened, so I was more confused. Welcome to the Temple of Woedica. We're here at long last. Oh! Okay, hi. Interesting. This guy gets a portrait. In front of you looms the ghostly hollow image of the man who was present at your awakening. He casts a pale, sickly light in the dank corridor as he regards you. He regards me? So he's the one that caused the biowork that caused me to be like this, and apparently he's looking at me?
You are from Recapture, my boy.
His words are an echo in your mind from a time long past, and you know your response before you speak it, as if it has always been. Oh, I'm inhabiting somebody else's memory. He's not talking to me. Yes, I was born there.
A remarkable city. Truly one of the most impressive we have encountered outside of our own. Many exceptional people who have joined our cause come from Recapture. What made you decide to join our order?
I went through dark times. Nothing made sense. That all changed when your order came to my homeland.
Little makes sense in the false context much of the world has lived under for so long. It is by the mercy of the gods that our faith has been able to reach so many of the heathen in more recent times. Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen?
I am. Whoever that guy is, he's important. You can tell, because not only is he voiced, he has a portrait, which is astonishingly rare. It's just party members. But is he a party member? I don't think that's the case either. off, Mock. The mercenary eyes you warily as you approach, his weapon readied. What are you doing here? You don't look like one of that masked lot. Relax. How would I know to be here if I didn't belong? He thinks carefully, then nods. All right then, go on in and report to the Acolyte, and she'll give you your assignment. You should be just about finished with their meeting in the big chamber. Any idea what's going on around here? A word of advice, friend. Don't ask questions, just go and do what you're told. Well, I've stumbled into something. Hooray. How soon will I get murdered for being here? The power of infiltrating. Okay. Just gonna take all your food. Don't mind me. By the deeds of my tongue and... Oh, that's not it. Ah, memorizing a sequence. Part 3. Part 3. It's never part 3. The fangs. Okay, that's the same book from before. A book lies on the table, its pages filled with some kind of unintelligible cryptography.
I can do that. That's settled.
It's not even stealing. Hooray.
Hail and well night.
A lone figure paces back and forth, tapping his fingers at his sides, muttering to himself. He jumps when he sees you, his hands on his chest. By the flame, you startled me. We were all around you. There's even a fox. He pauses and leans forward. Where's your mask? That's it. I knew I'd left something at home. Well, don't let anyone see you inside see you without it. They're keen on anonymity. What are you doing here? He resumes his pacing. I've been practicing the passphrases. I know them backwards and forwards, but I get so nervous every time I think about repeating them to the Acolyte. He wrings his hands. Why are you so nervous? He stops in his tracks. I've never seen the Acolyte's face, but I can't stop wondering what she looks like under that robe. He twists his fingers together. And when she peers into my mind, I'm afraid she'll catch me thinking about that. You hear him swallow. Also, if I get the passphrases wrong, she'll kill me where I stand. Ah! Then look beneath the robe, I say. Fail her test, but succeed in the more important one. Once you have nothing to hide, a cipher's got no power over you. And then you die. Thurence has bad plans. You can practice on me. Okay. He ushers a deep breath and fluttering hands. Here goes. First question. State your name and purpose. Answer. My name belongs to the gods, and my hand to their service. Second question. What company do you seek? Answer. I seek the company of shadows, that our labors may remain secret. Third question. Tell me of your labors. Answer. To see that the craft of Kith and Wilder does not disturb what bones the gods have buried. Fourth question. How do we know your purpose? Answer. You shall know it by the confession of my tongue, the deed of my hands, and the oath of my soul. Fifth question. And how is your oath guarded? Answer. It is sealed by the leaden key. He sighs with a nervous chuckle. That wasn't so hard. Sounds like you've got it. I do, I think. He bites his lip. I'm just going to practice a few more times by myself before my meeting. You need something else? I'll be ready for the initiates meeting soon, honest. Tell me about the meeting. This must be your first time. The Acolyte communicates with each of us individually to hear our progress on old tasks and to assign us new ones. He shivers with a mix of pleasure and dread. It's a unique process. She's a cipher, so she can speak to you without words. Fascinating. Until you realize she can probably read your thoughts just as easily. What do you know about these tasks? He laughs nervously. Only what I absolutely need to. We protect the secrets of the gods, so discretion is essential. He waves a hand between the two of you. We receive our instructions from the Acolyte, just as she receives hers from someone else, and so on. Right up to the Grandmaster. Our role is to obey, knowing as little about the overall plan and each other as possible. How can you be so confident you're doing the right thing when you know so little? He snorts. That's easy. The leaden key has been around for ages by the blessing of the gods. You only have to look around to see the perils of trying to usurp divine power. Killing a god in the Saints' War has cursed us all, and the heresy of animancy has only worsened matters. Try to replace a soul and you inevitably end up with a monster. It's all been a warning. There are some powers we just shouldn't have. Tell me about these secrets. He jumps back. You shouldn't even be asking. Whatever they are, they're secrets for a reason. Our job is to guard them, not to know them. I see. Can I borrow your hood? Of course not. He clutches at the edges as if you threatened to rip it off of him. The Acolyte will kill me for sure if I approach her without it. I promise I'll bring it right back. I guess there's no harm. The power of a resolve stat. Just don't tell anyone I gave it to you. Eloth leans towards you and mutters between clenched teeth. You can't be serious. Goodbye. You can't be serious. A dark mask bearing the stylized countenance of Woedica is attached by the thread of a black hood. Worn together, they obscure most of the defining features of the wearer's head. There we go. I'll blend right in.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's saying you can't be serious because how ridiculous it was that he gave me the hood, or because it's a really bad plan. Because it's a really bad plan to go in there. I did get the phrases, but like they're a cipher. I'm totally fucked. And yet here we go. Let's see what happens. We're trying to learn about the leaden key, right? What could go wrong? They're all just mercenaries. I'm not in the right room yet.
Yeah.
There are so many mercenaries around here. If we get them mad, this is gonna be a long fight to get out. Eloth falters and brings a hand to his forehead. He takes a staggering step forward, coughing and sputtering.
Back, you clod! Those hooded fiends are nigh to be trusted!
Eloth, hey, now's not the best time for that. He grimaces, catching his breath. It's nothing. I'm fine. He coughs again. This probably isn't the best place to linger, anyhow. Ah. His Irish personality is just popping right out. I think this is just the alternate entrance. This seems like it's not going anywhere. Or that's the big place. You hear murmurs and chants on the other side of this door. A ritual of some sort is already underway. Continue into the chamber alone. So nope, this is not the other entrance. This is, yeah, it makes sense. We had to go through guards to get here. This wouldn't be like the secret way to get to the normal Temple of Woedica entrance that's less guarded and more obvious. People are even more likely to check out that door. You open the door and stride into the chamber. I'm gonna die. Several shrouded figures are lined up across from a hooded woman. The figure at the head of the line approaches her, and the woman places her outstretched hand on the stranger's forehead. They stand in silent communion as you look on. A few moments later, the stranger steps aside and resumes his place in the circle around the statue. The woman turns to you. You are late, attendant. Even though her face is concealed, you sense her rage in her dangerously low voice, and the sudden silence of the others in the chamber.
I've been waiting on your reports. Quickly now, state your name and purpose.
The woman beckons you closer with curling fingers. She rests her open hand on your forehead, and you feel the heat of her palm through the thick material of your hood. Her voice is so low and soft that you're not certain whether she's speaking aloud or in your head. My name belongs to the gods, and my hand to their service.
What company do you seek?
Is that an offer? I seek the company of shadows, that our labors may remain secret.
Tell me of your labors.
To see that the craft of Kith and Wilder does not disturb what bones the gods have buried.
How do we know your purpose?
You shall know it by the confession of my tongue, the deeds of my hand, and the oath of my soul.
And how is your oath guarded?
It is sealed by the leaden key.
Welcome, attendant. Tell me of your exploits.
Her voice reaches you as a whisper, slithering first into one ear and then the other. In your mind, you see a building, magnificent with trellises and tiles and located on a pristine boulevard. The wealthy and learned stroll in and out, trading knowledge and coin.
Does he wait still?
Yet it also houses misery and madness. Somewhere within its rotten core sits a man, his hair matted, but his eyes alert. He watches and waits, a prisoner by choice. Yes.
Did they arrive?
The Acolyte's vision takes you out of Defiance Bay and to a town in the wilderness with a watermill. A signpost on one of the paths reads Deerford. Several figures huddle together, shrouded in cloaks and hoods. An image of ruins suddenly looms in your mind. Two skeletal effigies flank a cleft on the mountainside. Did they arrive? This is peak weird implementation to have two paragraphs of text ending with one voiced line that plays immediately instead of when you're done reading. This is where Tyranny learned the lesson here, because they would do all this text and then they would say click to continue, and then when you hit continue she would ask the voiced line. I'm surprised they got through a whole game before thinking of that solution. Yes.
Your information shall be relayed. Now, for your next task.
I'm definitely lying, I think. Unless I'm kind of answering based on the vision she's showing me, but I don't think that the vision she's showing me is supposed to be new information unless she's somehow awakening something that she doesn't have access to herself. But like, I'm not the person that's supposed to have the information, and she's asking for information, so neither of us should have it, and a cipher can't, I don't think, can do anything to just conjure it and have me read the vision or whatever. So as far as I can tell, I'm just making shit up and fucking up with their intel, which is fun, unless I'm right, which is a problem. But then maybe they'll all die in this scene anyway. I don't know. I'm definitely faking it till I make it right now, to see what information I can gain. The ruins fade from your mind, and in their place, a palimpsest of a neighborhood. Run-down estates are cobbled around a cemetery and an ancient tower. Savage shapes prowl the streets, and in the tower a man hunches over a strange mechanism. You can't see him clearly, but there's something unnatural about him.
Stop him. And above all, don't let him meet her.
You see a woman, deathly pale, with a scar over her heart. Ah, I know who that is. I definitely know who that is. The Acolyte shows you a door in the base of the tower, a seemingly inseparable slab of stone and copper. But then she shows you the invisible split between the perfectly matched halves, and you understand that the copper veins convert a command into action. The command comes to your mind, a surprising familiarity about it. You know how to open the door. Right, the tower I just found like last episode. Or this episode? Whatever. The tower in the Heritage Hill area. I shall. Her hand rests lightly on your head. Have you any questions, attendant? I'm pretty sure those questions get me killed by revealing that I'm not who I say I am. Okay, so these all let me see the visions again. And these get me killed probably. Farewell.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait, Deerford Village. Right, because it did say Deerford. But also the tower. Because we have several quests. Yeah, because they're all different quests. Lead and Key Acolyte showed me a vision of an agent in a place of misery and madness. I need to find this agent, discover his or her plan, to see if it holds any clues to finding the man I'm searching for. A prisoner by choice. That's just from asking around here. Undying Heritage. A derelict district of Defiance Bay. Yeah, we know where that is. Through Death's Gate, travel to Deerford. Yeah. Okay. So this seems to be for the best. Not blowing my cover, I can get as much information from these people as I can. Hopefully. And while I'm at it, if they're up to no good, which I'm sure they are, I can try to subvert their plans maybe, or at the very least not fulfill them on accident. But I know what's going on. That's not nice. You can't give them the hood back. There's no option to give them the hood back. That's just a little bit messed up. Hello, Aloth. Oh, God. Spells. Always spells. So many spells to pick. Oh, it's only one, though. I might just get Dimensional Shift. Because that's the fun switch places one. Yeah, let's get Dimensional Shift. That could be a lifesaver. Hardened Veil. Modifies Arcane Veil, which is the 50 deflection. Add 25. Make it 75 deflection. God damn. Penetrating Blast. 5 DR bypass. And then get bonus spells. As tempting as it is to make his weapons just actively dangerous, I don't think I want to be damaging him along the way all the time. Wow. The weak version of the Holy Radiance still does a decent amount of vessel damage. Just being able to pick up an anti-vessel spell could be fun. I don't know, I think I like the idea of Hardened Veil being just devastatingly effective. 75 penetration. That's like twice per encounter, right? Twice per rest.
Yeah.
So whenever a bad encounter happens, boom, I'm out. I'm out and I'm safe. Well, that was interesting. And now I'm masked, and people think that I'm a member of this organization, which will only help my further future infiltrations. I don't like wearing it all the time, though. So, Ed, hold on to this. I figure, let's not put it in the stash, because I'll lose track of it. Well, even when I'm trying to get sidetracked, I find my way back to the main story. It was the next thing I was going to do when I finished this area. I just wasn't expecting me to end up here, of all places. The steward of Cadnua has received a letter for you. Speak to the steward. Durgan's battery. Why do I have to go to Cadnua? Why can't she just talk to me? I thought I have like a telekinetic bond with her where she can communicate with me, and that's how I'm more able to access all the stuff all the time. A letter has arrived at Cadnua addressed to its new ruler. The steward believes it may present an interesting opportunity. It appears the first expansion has begun. Oh boy.
Huh?
A moment, please. I feel I should explain myself. About my episode in the catacombs, there's something I should have told you earlier.
So tell me now. He clasps his hands together, slowly massaging a knuckle with his thumb. I meant no harm. I thought I could keep it to myself. That when we resolved the matter of your soul, we would also address my problem.
I also have an awakened soul. But unlike yours, mine is a presence that shares my senses and my skin, making herself manifest at the most unwelcome times.
Ah, herself. He closes his eyes and grits his teeth. His lips quiver and twitch with the vestiges of some internal debate. Several seconds later, he opens his eyes again. They're watery and bloodshot.
I'm sorry. I've tried to learn to control Isilmir. I've gotten stronger, but so has she.
Tell me about Isilmir.
Artless, uncouth, a creature of rash impulses and feeble faculties. She wags her impertinent tongue when she should listen. Aye, this one's fit to boil. Hard to get this gaff over anything tisn't to do with books and spell speak.
He grimaces, running his hands through his hair. I have none of her memories. Barrett spared me that much, but her coarse manners and intolerable hill speak suggest a provincial from a very, very long time ago. She tends to surface a hair's breadth from conflict, when the fuse has burned down and teeth are on edge. And when she shows up, she doesn't stop to gauge the situation, she just acts. Sounds like you could take a few cues from her. Cues? Or vulgarisms? He rolls his eyes and crosses his arms over his chest. I've had to live with that hayseed for years. There's nothing to be learned from her. Nothing civilized anyway. He frowns, looking away. Why didn't you say something sooner?
I learned to keep her a secret a very long time ago. Those with awakened souls are shunned, mistrusted. And after your experience with Meowald, I'm certain you can see why. You need to be careful.
Is this going to be a problem?
Merely an annoyance. Although...
He lowers his voice and clasps his hands behind his back. Minute twitches and spasms along his arms betray his fidgeting.
Defiance Bay is said to have an entire institution dedicated to the study and cure of soul-related ailments. Since our journeys have already brought us to the city, perhaps we could speak with someone there.
If it's helpful to you, we'll go.
Thank you. This has been a great burden.
I'd like to know more about Isilmir. Such as? When did she awaken? My father was a strict man. He expected the best from his only child, and he didn't tolerate failure. His face becomes drawn. At times he could be rather adamant, particularly when he's been drinking. Iselmir manifested on one such occasion. To be honest, I don't remember the specifics, only that he was more careful with me after that. You said you learned to hide her a long time ago. My mother instructed me to keep her a secret after she first emerged. She feared that knowledge of my awakening would render me an outcast. Even though Iselmir proved useful against my father, I trusted my mother's advice, and I've since come to see the wisdom behind it. Merwald is an extreme example, but one that I can relate to more each year. Did I talk directly to her? It gives you a taut frown. Her usurpations are uncomfortable enough. I'm not eager to invite her into my consciousness more than necessary. Aw, I want to meet her. She sounds fun. What if that turns out to be like some kind of reasoning behind why Aloth specifically has so many abilities that allow him to like duplicate himself or have a second instance of himself that he can even control independently? It's like, what if it's because he has two consciousnesses bugging around and maybe she kind of helps guide some of that stuff? Just kind of spitballing, but it could be interesting. So if that got me there, and I do remember that, I do remember particularly, I just remember the detail of encountering people, those two, I remember from last time.
Bring back the feisty one. There's a woman can do some damage squeezing her legs together.
It isn't a parlor trick. Besides, she doesn't take orders well.
She has backbone, that woman. Does it scare you?
No, but I won't be responsible for what happens if you call her whore.
Yeah. You have a certain tendency, as it turns out, to do such things. Well, everyone's getting along great. And that interruption made me lose track of what I was about to say. So that is that. Oh yeah, I remember from the original playthrough, I remember those two guards and having to try to get past them. And I remember specifically like there's that one guy that you can just get to straight up tell you the passwords essentially. Like those little details stand out to me. I don't remember if I did any of these 3 quests though, ever. They don't seem familiar to me at all. Anyway, let's check out the Temple of Woedica, which I didn't go into, as it turns out. Magran turns a favorable eye upon our fair city. We give thanks, knowing that Defiance Bay will preserve through any hardship. Oh yeah, those are the fires. We did it. Then there's a ghost. Just chillaxing over here. Weeds grow thick and full, untroubled by the passage of kith. Okay. There's no entrance. There doesn't appear to be one anyway.
Come to pay your respects to the queen that was.
A ghost hovers in the middle of the ruin, reciting blessings and prayers. Even as the spirit's form shifts and swirls, it retains the face of an elderly man and robes that mark wealth and status. It turns to you. Who are you?
Lord Ardwellen Rugfold III, and pleased to make your acquaintance. I came to the Deerwood on one of the first ships from Adia, and unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways.
It's truly a pity to see what the locals have done to Woedica's house of worship. What are you doing?
Worshipping Woedica, the exiled queen and oathbinder. I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia, but it is my emperor's wish that I serve in these barbaric lands. And so I do.
I would like to know more about Woedica. It's very convenient that he has a backstory that explains why he's stuck here so that he doesn't have to think about it.
A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Woedica watches over them all. Of course, not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Woedica is also goddess of memory and vengeance, and she remembers. She'll remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
You know you're a ghost, right?
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from?
I'm serious. Just look at yourself.
A madhouse. That's what this town really needs.
Oh yeah, we have one of those now. It's just you've been dead for so long you don't know that. Goodbye. He's just walking away because he's sick of my shit. Alright. Well, it appears you can't get into the Temple of Woedica here anyway. So that was the one way in, I think. That's looking very sealed at the moment. Well, see you later, Ghost. Enjoy worshipping Woedica forever. Hope it works out for you. Alright, we got 2 new things to look into in Defiance Bay. There's the situation with Elf that I predicted would happen, but couldn't do yet because he needed to walk into that hallway first. And we got that tower. And also another neighborhood to look for, actually. So, yeah. We have a few things to take care of. Alright.